Okay, so today we're diving into the world of ARED.
ARED.
Yeah, have you heard of them?
I have actually, I've come across their work recently, and it's pretty fascinating stuff.
Yeah, they're trying to tackle a pretty massive issue, right? I mean, imagine half the planet without internet access.
Yeah, it's like 3 billion people or something crazy like that.
It's mind-boggling, isn't it? And it's easy to think, oh, just get everyone online, problem solved. But you and I both know it's way more complicated than that.
Yeah, it's not like slipping a switch. Just
Okay.
having internet access doesn't magically solve everything, does it?
Exactly. It's like giving someone a car but no roads. They've got the potential to go places, but how do they actually get anywhere?
It's about more than just connectivity, right? You need the whole infrastructure to support the digital literacy.
Okay, so that's where ARED comes in.
Yeah, they're tackling that digital divide in Africa, but in a really interesting way. They're using something called edge computing.
Edge computing. Okay, so for those of us who don't speak fluent tech.
Sure. So basically, it's a way to bring computing power and data storage closer to the people who need it, instead of relying on these huge data centers that are often miles away.
Ah, so it's like having a mini data center right there in your community.
Exactly. And ARED is doing this in a really unique way. What's fascinating is that they actually started with something surprisingly low-tech solar kiosks.
Solar kiosks, like those things you see in parks and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They started small, offering phone charging, Wi-Fi, basic internet access. But here's the really clever part. They use these kiosks as a foundation to build out a much larger network,
Okay, so they started with these little hubs of connectivity and then use that to...
to create a distributed edge network. They had this vision early on, and they've been strategically building towards it.
Wow, talk about thinking ahead. So they go from solar kiosks to this sophisticated network, and now they're tackling the digital divide with this whole edge computing thing. I guess they color me intrigued.
Well, then get ready to be even more impressed when we dive into the details of how their technology actually works.
So we left off with ARED's journey from solar kiosks to edge computing. And I got to know more about how this whole edge computing thing actually works.
It's a little bit like this. Imagine you're trying to stream a movie, but you're miles from the nearest city with a big data center.
Okay.
With traditional setups, your request has to travel all that way, which is why you get buffering lag, all that frustrating stuff.
Yeah, totally.
But with edge computing, it's like having a mini data center right there in your neighborhood.
So instead of one massive data center, they have these smaller ones spread out.
Exactly. ARED calls them edge gateways, and they're strategically placed within communities to provide that localized computing power.
Okay, so I'm picturing these like little boxes packed with tech strategically placed like digital oases in a tech desert. What's
Yeah.
actually inside these things?
Well, each edge gateway is a self-contained unit. It's got storage, computing power, and Wi-Fi all in one box.
So it's like a little all-in-one tech solution.
Exactly. And they're designed to be simple to manage, even if you don't have a tech background.
That's smart because not every business or community has a dedicated IT department, right?
Exactly. ARED gets that, so they've prioritized simplicity and ease of use.
Okay, but is it actually cheaper than building a traditional data center? Because
true.
sometimes cheaper means sacrificing quality.
Right. You'd think so, but here's the kicker. ARED claims their system is 5 times cheaper than traditional data centers.
5 times. Seriously.
Yeah, and it's not just about the upfront cost. They're also designed to be energy efficient, which saves money in the long run.
Okay, so it's cheaper and better for the planet.
Exactly. They're often powered by solar energy, so they have a much smaller environmental footprint compared to those massive energy-guzzling data centers.
I'm liking this more and more. So if they're smaller and more efficient, where are they actually putting these edge gateways?
Well, pretty much anywhere you can think of. We're talking high-traffic areas like
Yeah.
retail locations, stadiums,
Okay, I can see that.
but also remote schools, hospitals, even buses.
Buses. Wow, they really are putting them everywhere. And they're using AI to make this whole thing even smarter, right?
Absolutely. AI is a core part of their technology.
Mm-hmm.
One cool example is their voice prompt system, which is designed for users who might have literacy issues.
Oh, wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. So they're really using AI to make their tech more accessible.
Exactly. It's about breaking down those barriers and making sure everyone can benefit from the digital world. And that commitment to inclusivity extends to the overall impact they're having on communities.
Okay, well, you've definitely got my attention now. Tell me more about the real-world impact ARED is having. Okay, so we've talked about what ARED does and how they're doing it, but now I want to know, what's the impact? What difference is this actually making in the real world?
Well, a big part of their focus is on small and medium-sized enterprises, those SMEs that are the backbone of any economy.
Right.
ARED is giving them access to advanced digital tools that can really level up their business.
I can imagine things like inventory management, customer relationship tools, all that stuff that can be really game-changing for a small business.
Absolutely. And it's not just about giving them the tools, it's about making those tools affordable and accessible even in remote areas.
Because a fancy CRM system doesn't do much good if you can't even get online to use it.
Yeah, exactly. So by bringing the technology closer to these businesses, ARED is helping them overcome those digital barriers and compete on a more level playing field.
It's about empowering these entrepreneurs to thrive in a digital world. That's fantastic. But it sounds like their impact goes beyond just businesses.
Oh, absolutely. It's having a ripple effect across various sectors. Think about education, for example. ARED is working to connect remote schools to a world of digital learning resources. Imagine a school in a village that suddenly has access to a vast online library, educational videos, interactive learning platforms.
Wow, that's incredible. It really opens up a whole new world of possibilities for those students.
Exactly. And it's not just about access to information, it's also about connecting students and teachers with the wider world. And it's a similar story in healthcare with ARED facilitating things like telemedicine, allowing doctors to consult with patients in remote areas.
Okay, I'm getting it. ARED is using technology to bridge those gaps in access to resources and opportunities. But I have to ask, are there any concrete examples, success stories they can point to?
Absolutely. One of their flagship projects is a partnership with MTN Rwanda and the BK Arena.
The BK Arena, that's a pretty major sports and entertainment venue.
Exactly. ARED basically outfitted the entire arena with their technology.
Okay, so it's like a super connected stadium. But what does that actually mean for the people at the arena?
Well, imagine this. You're at a basketball game, and you can order food from your seat using your phone. You can access exclusive content, replays, stats, all that good stuff. You can even get an interactive map of the arena.
Wow, that's impressive. It sounds like they're creating a really enhanced fan experience.
Exactly. And for the arena itself, they get access to powerful analytics so they can optimize operations, enhance security, all sorts of things. It's a win-win situation.
That's a really cool example of how ARED's technology can be applied in these unexpected ways to create these really unique and engaging experiences.
Right. It's not just about providing internet access. It's about leveraging technology to create value in all sorts of different contexts.
Okay, so they're working with businesses, schools, hospitals, sports arenas. What else are they up to?
Well, one of the things I find really impressive about ARED is their commitment to sustainability.
Oh, yeah, we touched on that earlier. Their systems are often powered by solar energy.
Right, exactly. They're really conscious of their environmental footprint, and they're making a real effort to minimize it, especially compared to those massive energy-hungry data centers.
Okay, that's great to hear. So they're bridging the digital divide in a way that's both sustainable and impactful.
Exactly. And they're doing it through a really interesting business model. They license their technology through revenue sharing agreements.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's a partnership approach.
Right. Exactly. They're not just coming in and saying, we have the solution. They're working collaboratively with local partners to create something that's mutually beneficial.
I really like that. It's about empowering local communities, not just imposing a solution from the outside.
And speaking of empowerment, they have this fantastic micro-franchise model where they train local entrepreneurs, often women, to manage these kiosks.
So it's creating jobs and building skills within these communities.
Exactly. It's about creating a sustainable ecosystem where everyone has the opportunity to benefit from the digital revolution.
This has been truly eye-opening. It's amazing to see how ARED is using technology to not only connect people, but to empower them to create opportunities and to build a more inclusive and sustainable future. And they've set a pretty ambitious goal for themselves, haven't they?
They have. They want to empower 10 million people and create 10,000 micro-entrepreneurs by 2025.
Wow, those are some big numbers. But from what we've learned today, I wouldn't put it past them.
Me neither. They've got a clear vision, a solid strategy, and a deep commitment to making a real difference in the world.
It's inspiring to see a company that's not just focused on profits, but on using their technology for good. And it really begs the question, if ARED can achieve this in Africa, what other possibilities are there for bridging the digital divide globally?
That's the question, isn't it? If we could replicate this kind of success on a larger scale, imagine the impact we could have.
It's a challenge worth taking on, that's for sure. This deep dive into ARED has been truly fascinating. It's amazing to see how technology, coupled with a commitment to social impact, can transform lives and communities.
It makes you feel optimistic about the future, doesn't it?
It really does. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.